Gorgeous Jessica Capshaw. This reminds me, this dress should be what's that thing that the royals go, the royal ascot, ascot, where the ladies wear beautiful lady dresses and the men wear, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, fascinators.
Yeah,
women wear the fascinators.
Yeah.
Fascinating that it's called a fascinator.
Yes, it is fascinating.
I agree.
This dress makes you sit like a lady.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, lady dress. Lady
and wave a little different.
So mom of four, and we were talking about this backstage.
I know.
Kelly gave you the inspiration to go for the fourth?
Inspiration? I mean, yes, because look at her. I mean, look at all the things that she's doing and everything else. But
I only had 3.
Yes, I know. To wait for it. We were here. We had a third. It was like, ooh, should we? And you were like, 4. Like, 3's good. 3's good. You were like, I wish I'd had a 4th. And there's nothing that turns on the jets like the idea that you might future regret something.
Right.
So I went home and I was like,
we should
honey,
have a 4th.
we have to have a 4th.
I said the same thing when we got home, and he did not listen.
No. I know. What are their ages now?
They are now top to bottom. We have a boy and 3 girls. Boy is 16,
Okay.
Luke is 16, Eve is 13, Poppy is 11, and Josephine is 7. Oh, baby.
Yes, they're great ages.
Any budding entertainers? Anybody in the family business?
You know what? They are all storytellers, but they tell stories in different ways. Luke is this incredible and passionate and very skilled fisherman, and I'm telling you, when he talks about his fishing adventures, they are stories.
Yeah.
And then Eve is into all things and infinitely curious, and in her understanding of all things, there's story. And Poppy is definitely came out, she doesn't walk a straight line. She's got that wiggle, and she makes these movies, all the kids these days with the cap cuts, and they make these films, and then usually her stars are her sisters.
Yeah.
And then Josephine, again, the youngest, just sort of ages up, and so she's a 7-year-old teenager.
Right, of course she is.
Yes.
Now, they have to be Swifties.
Are you asking me that as a serious question?
I'm stating it.
We are all Swifties. I am a Swiftie, they are Swifties. We are Swift Nation.
Swift Nation.
Yeah. And so you guys were West Coasters. Now you're on the East Coast?
Yes, we did the COVID
move.
The reconsideration. I think everybody went where do I live?
Do they like the East Coast?
Love.
Yeah.
Love.
Yes.
Love.
You're East Coast.
I'm an East Coaster.
Yes.
I'm really a Midwesterner who became an East Coaster and then went to the West Coast and then just came back to the East Coast.
So if you could only pick one coast for the rest of your life, where are you going?
That's a rough question.
It's a crazy question, but I asked
you
it.
only
I'm
have one
feeling
choice.
living on the edge.
One choice.
Well, East.
Wow. Yeah.
I love the West Coast, and I love all of it. But there's something. Here's what the main takeaway within the first 6 months of moving back, and I looked at Christopher and was like, "Wow, I really miss this." People are so direct on the East Coast.
That's right.
In Los Angeles, it's like the big joke, right? Hey, did you like that movie? Yeah, I loved it. They didn't like it. They didn't even like it.
They didn't see it.
They didn't even like it.
Right.
The East Coast, I remember getting here and I was asking about someone and I said, well, what do you think of her? And they were like, oh, she's really nice. She's terrible at her job. And I'm like, all right.
That's East Coast for you.
But I appreciated it because we can be 2 things. We can be a great person and bad at our job.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So be friends with her, but maybe don't hire her.
Yeah, amazing.
All right, we need to take a little break. When we come back, Jessica tells us about her return to Grey's Anatomy. Stick around.
Dr. Bailey, given that we're close to finishing our logs, would it make sense to focus on that instead of wherever we're going?
It would make sense for you to trust that anything I ask of you will make you a better doctor.
Oh, Dr. Bailey, just in time. Shall we begin?
Yes. Take a seat and learn something.
Come home.
After 6 years, she's back as pediatric surgeon Dr. Arizona Robbins on the medical drama Grey's Anatomy, which is what is it, 20 years?
It's 20.
It's 20 years?
20 years.
Well, how is that possible?
I don't know. I don't know.
What was it like being back?
It was like going home to, like, you know, when you move around and you go back to a home that you lived in for a really long time, and you're so overjoyed to see different things and how things have changed, or people that are new.
Yeah.
And then there's people, I mean, the first day, all you just heard was like, you know, different squeals and screams, because I'd run into one other person that I hadn't seen, because, you know, you become a family, you know.
It truly is a family.
And yet the circumstance where you might be with each other is sort of not so much outside of that workplace.
Right.
So going home, you feel like you're home.
And now the actor medical interns, do they all look like kids to you?
You're not wrong.
Yeah. I have to say this, like, I watch Grey's Anatomy and I'm always like, why is everybody so good looking in this hospital, right?
Yeah.
But if you've like spent any time in a hospital recently, like we've, you know, had like whether it's like one of our kids or our parents, like you go into a hospital.
Yeah, the residents are good looking.
And you're like, why is everybody good looking in this real life hospital?
Because they all grew up watching Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah,
they were like, this is my shot.
There's a Grey's Anatomy effect.
There is.
What can you expect from your character this season?
You know what? I came back, when I talked to Meg about coming back, she was so particular and so eloquent, and she said, the reason why we want Arizona to come back for this is for some joy.
Yeah.
And a little bit of badass.
Yeah.
And so this character sort of was designed to do these incredible Herculean surgeries, but sort of have this joy within her. And I think she was a person first and a doctor second, but I don't know. It was just sort of that coming together of the joy and the expertise and the mastery, and so she got to come back and sort of.
Well, we're glad you're back, and we're
so
also glad
excited.
you're back east
Yes,
as well.
yes.
Of course.
We're gonna make so many plans. We're gonna make so many plans.
Grey's Anatomy airs Thursday nights on ABC. Come up next, Andrea Weisberg.